女士们、先生们，上午好！欢迎大家出席国务院新闻办的新闻发布会。长期以来中国的就业和社会保障情况广受关注。为了帮助大家进一步了解相关情况，今天我们很高兴请来了人力资源和社会保障部部长尹为民先生，请他向大家介绍2015年就业和社会保障情况，并回答大家提问。出席今天发布会的还有人力资源社会保障部副部长尤军先生。下面我们先请尹部长。
So I'd like to pass the floor to Minister Yin.
各位新闻界的朋友，大家上午
Dear friends from the press, good
非
morning.
常高兴
It's my great
能
pleasure
够出席新闻
to
发布会。
attend today's news
借这个机
briefing.
会呢，我首先要感谢
On this occasion, I'd like
长期以
to
来
thank
对
the
人力资
media
源社会保障
for
工
your
作
long-term
关注和
attention
支持
and support to human
就业
resources
和
and
社会
social
保障
security work.
是重要的民生，
Employment
也是
and
经济和社会
human
发展
resources and
重要的
social
支持。
security
党
are
和国家
important
高度
bolster
重视
for people's
12
lives
以来
and
特别
our
是党的18大
development.
以来
So the CPC Central
党中央
Committee
国务院
attaches great importance
做
to
出了一
this.
系列的重大决
Since
策
the
果
12th five-year plan, in
采取
particular
了
the
一系列
18th
的
Party Congress,
政策
the
措施，
CPC has
就业和社会
adopted
保
a lot
障
of measures
取得了
to
重
improve
要的
our
进展。
work and make
这
important
5
progress
年
on this front.
就业的规模
Over
持
the
续扩
past
大，
5 years,
就业
we
的结
continue
构
to
不断的优
increase
化，就
jobs,
业局势保持了
improve
总体的稳定。
employment structure,
这
and
5年
maintained the
社会
stability
保障体
of
系
the
建
job
设
market.
取得了长足的进展，
And we've also come a long way in the
迅
development
速扩
of
大
the social security
待遇水
market.
平
It
不断
covers
提高，
more
制度
people
建设
and the
不断完
benefits
善，
have been increased.
就业
The
和社会保障
more
建设
institutions have
取得
been
的成
built.
绩，不仅有效
These
保障和改
achievements
善了民生，
have
而
effectively
且
improved the people's
对我国
lives.
改革发展稳定的
Moreover,
大局
It has
起到了积极的
contributed
作用。
to
所
reform
以今天我们非常
development
高兴啊，
and
就就业
stability in
和社会
China.
保
So
障
today
相
I'm
关
very
问题
happy
与大
to
家进行交流，回答大家
exchange
提出
views
的问
with
题。
you
谢谢。
on the work
谢谢尹部长
in
的
this
简洁
area.
介绍。
Thank you.
下面开始
Thank you
提
for
问。
your brief
提问之
introduction.
前，
Now
请
the
报
floor
代
is
表新闻
open
机构
for
来
questions.
提问。
Please identify yourself before asking your question.
谢谢主持人，我是中央电视台
Thank
记者。
you. I'm from
我看到这份材
CCTV.
料里写，有一个数
I
据
read
是
from
2015
the
年
material
在经济下行压力加大的情况下，
As
城镇新增就业人数达
downward
到了
economic pressure is
1312万人。
mounting.
请问这
There
是
are
如何实现的？另外，您如何看待
13.12
当前
million
和今后一个时期
new
的就业
jobs
形势？今
created.
年还将采取哪些
So
措
what's your
施
view about this?
促进
And
就
how do you
业？谢谢
view。the employment situation at present and going forward? What
就业
more
是
measures will be
民生之
adopted?
本，
Employment
关系
is
到千家
key
万
to
户的
people's lives.
生活，
It concerns
而且
the
就业呢
living
不仅仅
standard of
是一个人
each
的
and
谋
every
生手段，
household.
也是一个
Employment
人
and
价
jobs
值的体现。
will provide
党
the
和国家
basic
始终
standards
把
of
促进
survival
就业
for people and
作
also
为
will
经
help
济
one
社
to
会
realize
发展
its
的
own
首要
value.
目标，
So this is the priority of our work
实施扩大就业的战略和
to
积极的就业政策，
implement
特别是
policies
在
to
经济下
expand
行
and
压力
increase
加大的情
employment,
况下，
in particular in
采
face
取
of
了
the
一系
downward
列的
economic pressure.
有针对性的
The government has
政策措施
adopted a series
来
of
稳定
effective
就
policy
业局
measures
势。
to stabilize
刚才记者
the
已
job
经
market.
讲到，
As you
2015
have
年
mentioned, in
城镇新增就业是
2015,
1312
there
万人，
were 13.12 million newly created
下降
jobs,
了
though
0.8%，
is a
但是仍然
0.8%
是在
dip
1300
compared with the
万
same
以上
period
的
of last year,
高位上。
but it is still at a high
也就是说，
level that is above
我们从
13
2013
million.
年开始，连续3年
That is to say,
城镇
since
新增就业的人数都在
2013,
1300
the
万
newly
人以
added
上。
jobs in urban
城镇
areas
登记失业率
has exceeded 13 million, and
4.05%，
the
同比呢
urban
下降了
registered
0.04%，
unemployment rate was
而且重
4.1%,
点群体的就业呢也比较稳定，
a decrease of
高校毕业生
0.04
去年
percentage points.
749万。那么
And
年底
last year
的
there
就业率
were
与
7.49
2014年基本持平，
college
但
graduates,
是还多增加了 20.9万人的就业。
And there are
农民工短一就
more
业
than
在持续扩大
209,000 new jobs were created for the college graduates. In terms of rural migrant workers, there were
多增了350万。
277 million,
那么在经济下行压力
and
比
we
较
have
大
seen an increase in this number.
就业的形势
Though
为
the
什么还能
pressure
保持
is increasing,
如此稳定？
but we have maintained the
当然有一
stability
些
in the job market.
媒体或者社会有一些人呐，
Some
对此
people
呢
in the
有一
media
些质疑，认为我们这些
questioned
就业的数据
the number,
是不是准确？
questioned whether these numbers are
我可以负责任地向大家
accurate,
说，
and I can tell you in a responsible manner
就业数据
that
上，
the
大家从
job
周围
situation can not
从
only
市
be
场
reflected in the
是可
numbers.
以
You
观
can
察到
also
如果就业
observe
形势
it
一旦出现了问题，
from
我相信
the
媒体
situation
在第一
around
时间
you.
比我们的
I'm
反应
sure
还
that
迅速。
when there is a problem, the
那么
media
为
will
什么
be
会
the first
取得
to
如此好的
respond
成绩，
to
就是
it.
好于预期？
So
我觉得
why
主
we
要
have
归于三点。
achieved more than
第一点
we
呢，
have expected?
还是经
There are
济
several reasons.
保持在一个
First,
合理的区间。
the
也就是说
economic growth
经
has
济仍然
maintained
是一个中高速的
within
增
a
长，
reasonable
这
range,
是就业
a
工作的前提。
medium-high
因为没有经济的增
rate
长，
of
不
growth.
可能创造
Without economic
就业岗位。
growth, it is impossible for us to create jobs. Last year, the GDP growth was
在世界
6.9%.
范围内，仍然是一个
This
比
is
较高的速度。
quite high worldwide.
那么现在我们经济的总量盘子已经非常
The
大，
economic aggregate in
它对
China
就业
is
的
very
拉
big
动
already,
作用也比过去大大的增强了。
and it
15期间
can help create much more
GDP 每
jobs
增长一个
than
点，
it did in the
大概
past.
拉动就业的
During the
数量
11th five-year
是1.2
period,
左右。
for 1
15
percentage
期
point
间
of GDP growth,
GDP 每增长
1
1
million jobs can be
拉动
created. And during the 12th
新
five-year
增
plan
就业是
period, for
170万左右。
each percentage point of
这个
GDP
数字
growth,
可以
it can
反映出
increase
就是经济
1.7 million new
拉动
jobs.
就业的能力
This
大大地增
reflects
强。
that GDP
这
can
里面
play
最
a
主
bigger
要的
role in increasing
还是蛋
jobs.
糕做大了，就业的
The
总
main
量
reason is that the pie is bigger,
第二个
so
因素
more
就
jobs
是
can be
得益于
created.
我
Secondly,
们结构的优化，就是经济结构的
it
优
is
化
attributable
和
to
改革
the
释放
improvement in the economic structure
大家都知
and
道，
reform
去年
and innovation.
第三产业的增加值
In
首
2015,
次超过了 50%，
the added
而
value
服务业
of the tertiary
对就业的
industry
贡献
exceeded
率是最高
50%,
的，它
and
高出
the service sector
大约
contribute
20%。所以这种结构的
20%
调整
more
和优化
to the job
对
market
就业的
than the
拉动
second
能力在
industry.
增强。
So
同时，
economic
我们进行
growth contributed more
转变政府职
to
能，
job creation.
创业
At the same
万众
time,
创
the
新
government is
商事制
shifting
度改
its
革
functions, and with the mass
释放社会
entrepreneurship
的活
and
力。
innovation, with the
那么
reform
去
of
年
business
平均
sector,
每天新增
the
的市
society
场
is more
户
dynamic.
都是在1万户以上。
And last year,
大家也知道，
there are 10,000 new business registered every day.
所以改
As
革
you
的
may
这个
know,
红利释放
entrepreneurship has a multiplying factor
第
of
三
job
一个是得益
creation.
于我们
And
积极的就业
thirdly,
政策。
this is attributable to our proactive
去
policy
年国务院
and
又
the
新出
development
台
of
了
the service sector.
就业创业的
Last year,
政
the
策，
State
使我
Council
们的
has
积极就业政
released
策不断丰富和完
new
善。
policies
而且
to
在这个
support
过程当中，
employment.
我们各级公共就业服务机构
And our
努力工
service
作，把各项政策
institutions
落实
at
到
various
位。
levels
所以对就业
have
应该说是很
done
好
our
的
best to implement the policies. So
刚才
this has
记者问
boosted
到
the job market.
2016年的
And
就
you
业
have
形势会怎么
asked
样？
about the job situation in
当前呢，
2016.
国内外经济形势
Let me
很
say
好，
this.
所以
The
2016年的就业形势
employment
应该
market is very complicated, so it will remain complicated in
而且任务也
2016.
是非常。
And we face arduous
我觉
tasks.
得有3个方面啊，对今年的就业形势
I want to bring your attention to 3 aspects which will have a
第一个
major
方面
influence on the job market this year.
First, we will work to address overcapacity, and in this process, some workers may
第二个
lose
方
their
面
jobs.
就是经济
Second,
下行压力比较大，
there will be big downward pressure on the economy. That will bring difficulties to some businesses, and that may lead to understaffing. Third, problem is mainly about youth employment. There is a big demand for youth employment represented by college graduates, and that will bring big pressure on employment. This year, there will be 7.65 million college graduates, an increase of 160,000 from last year. That is coupled with about 6 million vocational school graduates. So there will be more daunting task for helping college graduates, vocational school graduates, and junior high and senior high students who do not seek higher education to find their jobs. That will bring big pressure. That said, we still have full confidence in ensuring overall stability in employment situation this year. A primary reason is that the economy will continue to develop in a sound and a positive manner. In this process, we will pursue structural adjustments. In this process, new drivers, new forms of businesses are in the making. And this will unleash favorable conditions for creating jobs. This year, we will adopt the following measures to ensure good job creation. First, we will pursue macroeconomic policy, job policy, and industrial policies in a coordinated manner so as to create as many jobs as possible. Second, we will adopt integrated and multiple measures to ensure proper staff placement while addressing overcapacity. Third, we will continue to implement the plan to promoting employment for college graduates and for guiding them in starting up their own businesses, so that we will help young people, especially college graduates, to find jobs. Fourth, we will step up vocational training so as to increase the capacity of laborers for finding jobs and starting up new businesses. Fifth, we will continue to encourage entrepreneurship as a driver of job creation. There will be huge potential in this regard. Sixth, we will continue to ensure good public employment services, especially to make the services more IT-based. This can provide more convenient and efficient services information to employees. Next question. With Phoenix. Just now you mentioned possible laid-off workers in the process of addressing overcapacity. What's your estimate of the size of such people and what measures will be adopted to address their concerns of re-employment? Just now I mentioned that in the process of addressing overcapacity, we will focus on this task as a primary task to enhance supply-side structural reform. In this process, a very key link is to ensure good re-employment of people who lose their jobs. To ensure good work along that line, the State Council has made relevant arrangements by distributing relevant documents. They have adopted a combination of measures to address the concerns. It is 1+8 document portfolio. One of the documents was formulated by my ministry in coordination with other government departments. It is designed to seek opinions on re-employment of people who lose jobs in the process of addressing overcapacity. We established some basic principles, basic avenues, and requirements for re-employment. Our overall logic is that businesses themselves play a primary role. The local governments will be responsible for specific organization work so as to ensure good re-employment through multiple means and in accordance with laws. We have the following avenues for re-employment. First, we will encourage companies to tap into their internal resources to ensure relocation and re-employment. In other words, companies will make use of available venues, facilities, and technologies to create new job opportunities so that the affected workers will find new jobs within the enterprises. Second, we will transfer these workers to new jobs. For those who have to leave the enterprises, we will give them re-employment assistance by providing them with vocational training, guidance, and job referral. We will introduce a combination of new measures to help these affected workers to find new jobs or start up their own businesses. Third, for eligible workers, they can opt for internal retirement. In other words, for those who have less than 5 years to reach legal retirement age, they can sign an agreement and go for internal retirement on a voluntary basis and with the consent of enterprises. Fourth, nonprofit employment will provide a cushion. For those who have difficulties in finding new jobs, government will arrange for nonprofit job opportunities as a cushion for them to fall back on. In this process, in terms of financial resources and policies, the central government and the local government will provide support. At last press conference, we mentioned this matter. The central government will set aside 100 billion yuan for resettlement of affected workers. Our unemployment insurance and insurance allowance will be granted to those eligible workers to help them. And we will also ensure good handling of relationship between employers and workers, and ensure good transfer and renewal of these workers' social security accounts. One principle is important. For every enterprise, every resettlement program has to be approved by the Workers' Congress. So workers are not passively receiving such programs. They should take an active part and take the initiative in the decision-making. Good practices and experience have been accumulated in the work, and we will replicate such good practices elsewhere in a timely manner. Just now you asked about the number of resettled workers. Now, in the steel and coal industry, they are one of the first areas where we have to deal with this issue in addressing overcapacity. Some progress has been made. In the coal industry, there are 1.3 million, and in the steel, 1.5 million. They are not accurate, but about 1.8 million people have to be re-employed. This is a difficult job, but we have confidence to do it well. I believe with the collective efforts of all parties concerned, we will ensure the success of this work in a prudent manner.
Thank you. I'm with the China News Agency. Recently online, there are several timetables for delaying the retirement age. So can you confirm the timetable? So what's the reason for us to delay the retirement age? And last year, you told us that you will solicit the public opinions on this plan. So when will it be started?
渐进式延迟退休年龄这个政策呢非常关
I
心。
think you have a lot of interest in
对此呢也
the
有
plan of delaying
很多的
retirement age gradually.
也有不少
There
的
are
方案。
a lot of
我记得我
interpretations.
去年在这个全国两会新闻发布会上，
I remember that
专门
last
就这个
year
问题呢，
at the press conference during the two
今天
sessions,
也很愿意
I've answered this question. And today I want to share with you more of my observations. First, why we should adopt this policy to delay the
这个说的比
retirement
较
age.
简单一点，
To put it simply,
就是在人口老龄化这么大的一个
it is
背景下，
given
我们国家现在
the aging society,
不适应这种
the
形
current
式的需要。
retirement
这个大家
age
都知道，我们现在
promulgated in the law cannot
是在建
fit
国
well
初
within
期，
the reality
就60年
because this retirement age
当
was
时的人口
set
预期的寿命
60 years ago. Back then,
那么现在
people's
已
life
经
expectancy
我们
is
经济社
not
会发展呢发生了最大的变化，
what we
人
have
口的预期
today.
寿命大大提高，
And now, with the
而且再往前
change
看，
in our
人
society,
口老龄化
the life
这种趋势
expectancy has been
是越来越
increased,
我们去年
and
超过
our
60岁以上
society is
的老人
aging
达到了
rapidly.
12000
Last year, there are more than
16%，
220
所
million
以无论
senior
是
age
从
people.
开发人力资源，提高有
So
效
the
的人力资本的
policy
供应
is to maximize the
还是
use of human resources and ensure
养老、医疗
the
基金的
sufficient
持续
supply
健
of
康的运
labor.
行都需
We
要
need to
对我们的
ensure
法定
the
退休
sound operation in the society. All this require
而且这也
us
是
to
世界
change the
各国
retirement
通
age.
行的做法。
And this is the common
发达国
practice
家
worldwide.
现在
In developed
基本上
countries,
退休的年龄
almost all
都是
the
在
developed countries
60到60
have a
甚至
retirement age at or above 60 years old.
所以我觉得对这个问题啊，我们需要从
So I believe
适应人口老龄化
we
这么一种
need
大
to
趋势的背景下
adapt to the trend of the
我
aging
觉得这一点
society.
呢，经过这么几年的讨论，
After
社会
years
共
of
识啊
discussions,
逐渐地形
we
成
are building consensus among
那么
our
制
society
定这个渐进式延迟退休年龄的这个政策，
roll out a policy of delaying retirement age gradually. We have one basic
它还
consideration.
是小步慢走，
We
渐
need
进
to make it gradual, take
也就是说，
small
每
steps
年
along the way.
推迟
That is to say, we
经
delay
过一个相当长的时间，
several
再
months
达到我们
each year,
定退休的年龄。
and then after several
我这次
years,
举个例子，
we will
比
finally
如说
reach
5
a
年以
new
后，你将来是
line.
60岁退休，
For example,
那么这个政
5
策实
years
行以
from
后
now,
可能5
you
年
may
以后
retire
是
at
60岁零3个
60
月，
years old,
这样
and
大家可
maybe
以
5 years
变动
later, you will retire
第二个人
at
可能是
6
这个第二年退休，
60 years old plus 3 months.
那么他可能是60岁零
I
6，
think this is more acceptable.
这是一点。第二点呢，就
This
是
is the first point I want to make. And the second principle that is that we need to
根据我们国家现
adopt
在
a
不同区域
differentiated
的退
policy
休年龄，我们
and
会
take
从
a
这个实际
step-by-step
出发
approach. We
区别不
will
同
have
群体的情况，
targeted
然后呢
policies
分步进行实施。
focusing on
第
different
三一
age
个
groups.
就是我们会
Third,
提前公示，
we will make public
就是我
notice
讲
in
的
advance.
我们这个方案一旦出来之后，
So
我们
once
会
this
广泛地
plan
征求
is
社会
formulated, we will widely
为什么呢？
solicit
因为这个方案涉及
opinions
到
from
老
all
百姓
social
的切身
sectors
利益
because this
凡是涉
concerns
及到
the
公共利益
immediate
的政策
interests of the
需
public.
要广泛的听取大家的意见。
So for
我们
such
对
a
社会的
policy,
共识
we need to listen to the views
现
of the
在呢
people
我们这方案
and
应
build
该
social
讲
consensus.
这个出来了，
The
但是我们还要
plan
按照这个
has been
相
made
关的程
actually,
序
but it needs to go through
报经批准
relevant procedures.
才能够向社
Once
会
approved,
这个广泛的征求意见。
we
原来我今
can solicit
年
opinions
我
from
们
the
肯定会
public.
拿出这个
I have talked about this timetable, and it will be rolled out this year. Thank you. Next question.
对对对对。
您好，我是香港大公报的记者。
I'm from
之前
Tagongbao
媒体已
of
经
Hong
多次报
Kong.
道人社部等部门
The media
开展了
has
养老保险
reported
顶层设计研究。
the
那么
top
请问
level
部长可否
designing
介绍一
of
下
the social
这项工作主
security.
要有哪些内容？
So can you
还有
tell us
是否
about
请
the
透露
main
一下目前
content
进展
of
如何？谢谢。
this top level designing and what's the progress? Thank you.
养老保险呢，是
Old
社会的安
age
全网，也
insurance
是稳定器网。
is a safety net and a stabilizer for the
都为
society.
自己希望老有所养，
All of us
能够
hope
解除自己的
to
后顾之忧。
have something to fall back on when we get
养老保
old,
险制度的建立
so we will
是在
have no
上个世
worries.
纪的90年代，
And the
到现
first
在
old
也
age
就不过
scheme was
是
introduced
20
in
年的时间。
1990s, so only 20
应该
years
讲
have passed.
取得了巨大的成绩，
And we've made a big
至少
progress on this
是3个
front,
方面的成绩。
at least on 3
第一呢，
fronts.
我们
First,
的框架体系已经
the
建立，
framework has been
就是
put
城
in
镇直
place.
督养老保险制度
That is
和城乡
the
居民
old
养
age
老保险
system
这
for
2大
urban
制度体系构
employees
成了我们国家
and
养老
also
保险的基
a
本
old
制度
age
体系。
system for rural
第二
areas.
一个
These
就是
two
覆盖人群
systems
迅速扩大。
formulate the
我们现在
nationwide
这2个
network.
制度
And
体系
second,
覆盖了
the
8亿
coverage has
1000
been
万
expanded. It
养老保
now
险
covers
不是全民
850 million
它
people.
是覆盖
Old
特定
age
人群，
insurance
也就是说
does not have
要
full
扣除
coverage. It
学
focuses
龄前的
on
儿童
specific
和在校
groups.
的学
For
生，
example, it deducted
那么
those
大约
preschool
是要覆
children.
盖10亿人。
It needs to
我们
cover
现在已经覆盖
1
了
billion
8亿。
population, and now we have
覆盖率已
reached
经达到
850 million. So the coverage rate has
这可以
exceeded
讲是世
85%.
界上最大的单一
It's fair
的
to
养老
say
保
that this is the
体系。
largest old
第三一个就
age
是待遇水平
scheme
上稳步的提高
in，the world.
这个大家也知道。
Thirdly, the
职工养
benefits
老保险
for this
连
has
续
been
11年
increased
调整待遇
steadily. The
由2005
employment,
的
the
700元左右，
company
调整到去年
retirees has
2000
seen their pension adjusted for 11
所以我说
years
首先还是
in
要
a
肯
row,
定
and the benefits has increased from 700 yuan to 2,200 yuan in
西方
2015.
发达国家的养老保险制度都经过
The old age system in Western countries and developed countries have undergone 100 years of development, and in China, we have only spent
当然我
20
们也要
years on
客
this.
观清醒的来看待我们的养老保险制
So we have achieved a lot, but we also
度。一
need
个
to
是
have
我
a
们
keen
制度体系
understanding
本身
of this
还
system.
需要进一步的完善。
First, it
这里
still
面最
needs
突出的
improvement.
就是公平性的问题和可
One
持续发展。
salient issue
但
is
另外一个
that
方面，
we need to ensure fairness
养
and
老保险制
equity.
度现在遇到最大的挑战
And
是人口
secondly,
老
the
化。
biggest challenge
大家
for
知道
this
这个
system
社会保险
is
它是大数
aging
法则
society.
互助共济。我们的养老保险呢
According to the
是
current
代际赡养
arrangement,
是吧？也就是我们现在
people contribute to this
工作的
pool
人要
and
养
they
已
share
经
the benefits.
这个退下来的人。我们现在的这种
But
赡
now
养
we make
正在
contributions to support those retired,
或者从
the
另外一个角度
retirees.
说它在提高，现在是2.9比1，
And
有
the
2.9个人在养。
dependency rate is decreasing year on year. Now is 2.9
降到2.9比1。
to
那
1.
么再往前看，
And in the past, it's 3 to 1. So the dependency ratio is dropping.
这
But
就对我们养老保险
the trend is grim.
带来巨大的挑战。
It poses challenges for the sustainable development of this system. This is not only the problem facing by China
所以
only.
大家都在进行改革。所以
Many
基于这么一个
countries
做
across the
法
world are facing this
在
challenge.
进行养老保险
To
体系的
deal
顶
with
层设
it,
计，推
we
进养老
are
保险
having this top-level designing and
那么改革的内
reform
容呢
the
大致
old
有
age
几个
system.
方面，
And we are advancing reform
就是我们
on
要
the following
推
areas.
行全民参保计划，
First, we are advancing
就是
a
到2020
all
年
participation scheme.
我们希
By
望我们的养老
2020,
保险
we
能
hope
够做到基本全覆盖
that
也就是我刚才
the
讲的
insurance will
还有
basically
1亿多人
cover
没有纳入这个
all the population. As I told you,
这里边
100 million
比较大
people
量的
are not included
是
in the
农
scheme
民
yet,
和零和就业
among
人员
whom a large,
希望
the
通过我们的
majority is
全民
rural
参保计划
migrant workers.
能够把他们
We
纳
hope
入到这个
that
体系
by
里面，这
adopting
是
this
最大的
all
公平。
participation scheme, we can include all the
第二一个呢，
population.
就是我们要养老保险的全国统筹。
Second, we will promote national
现在我们是
coordination of the old age insurance scheme. Now the coordination work is primarily at the provincial level. If it is raised to the national level, we can diffuse
第三一个
risks，
我们要
and
进一步完善
better allocate
个人账户
resources at a larger scale.
就是让它
Third，
更好的体
We
现
will make good use of the old age insurance personal account so as to provide more
这是
incentives.
我们要推出
Fourth,
渐进式
we
延迟
will
退休年龄
introduce incremental extension of
第五个。
retirement age. Fifth,
我们要推进养老保险
We
基金的投资运
will
用
promote investment and
养老保险
operation
基金
of old age
能够保持
insurance funds so that the funds can maintain or even increase their values.
第六一个，我们要
Sixth
多方面的
We
筹措
will raise funds for old age
特别是
insurance
要
through
划拨
multiple
国有资
channels.
产
In particular, we
来充实
may set aside
社会保险
state-owned assets to shore up
因为我们国
old
家有
age
一个特殊的情
insurance
况
funds.
就是
There's
我们
one special
养老保险
condition of
基金
China.
有一些
namely
历史的欠账，
We have some old
无论是
debts to
从制
pay
度
off
建立
in terms of
时候已经
insurance
退休的
for
人员
old age
还
care,
是我们
whether
我们
for
叫中人，就是视同交费的人员，
the
这一块
past
的资金
retirees or for people who are working now.
养老保险基金里面支出的，是吧？应该是
Their
国
old
家财政
age insurance should be covered by central government revenues. State-owned enterprises should pay off their debts in this regard.
我们还要推进多层次的
We should
养老保险
also
体系的建
promote
设，
the establishment of a
因为我们基本
multi-tiered
养老
old
保
age
险
insurance system.
这是一块儿。我们还要推进
The
企业年
basic
金、
pension
职
is
业
just
年
one
金
part. We should
作为
also
补助，
promote the
然后我们
development
也要
of
推进
enterprise
商
and
业保险，
occupational
建立
annuities,
适当的
including
体系
commercial
这些
insurance,
改
so
革
as to
这个措
complement
施呢
the basic pensions.
有些已经出
Some
台
of these
比如
reform
说
measures
养老
have
保险
already
基金
been
投资
rolled
运用
out,
的办法，
like
国务院已
the
经正式
investment and operation
有
of
些
old age
会陆
pension
陆续续
fund.
的这
The
个
state councils have
我相信
made
就是我们
arrangements
这些
for
改
that,
革举
and
措
some
它是一
measures
个
are in the
综合性的措
pipelines.
施，也是一个组合拳，
The reform measures
它
are
的推出
multiple
是吧？对于我们
and
养老保险
multifaceted.
秩序、安全的运行，
They will contribute
这个是至
to
关重
the
要的。
sustained
而且对于
and
我
safe
们所
operation
有的参保
of
人
old
员
age
老有所
insurance
养，
funds,
这是至
and that will also enable
这里面
all
还有一
people
个问
to
题呢，
enjoy old
就是
age
如
care.
果我们这些措施能够推出
Here's one
之后，
problem. Once we roll out
或者我们在推进的
such
过程当中
measures, or
我们也
as
可以
we are
适当
doing
地
so,
降低我们的这个
we
社会
can
保险的费率，
reduce the premiums for the pensions
偏高。
in an appropriate manner. Some companies complain that
历史的
the
情况
premiums are too high.
如果
Indeed,
这
we
些措
have
施都
some
能够推
legacy
出，
issues to
我
deal
们
with
就能
in
够在
this
确
regard.
保发放的前提下，
If all the measures
适当
can
地
be
降低
implemented to the
社会保险
fullest,
谢谢。
we can
下个提问，
reduce the premiums to some extent.
第五排边上那位女士，第五排。
谢谢主持人。
Thank
我想提一个关于劳动合同法的问
My
题。
question is about the labor contract law. Recently, there have been some discussions that the current labor contract law weakens the flexibility of the labor market and therefore leads to lower productivity. They call for amendment of the law. Minister Yin, what is your comment on this matter?
你好，我中国日报社记者。
With China Daily.
这劳动合同法呢，是我们国家
The labor contract
调
law
整劳动关系的一
is
部
an
分。
important law in adjusting labor relations in
它
China.
实施8年，
It was introduced
应
8
该
years
讲
ago.
在规范企业用工
It
行
plays
为
an important role in regulating the behavior of employers, safeguarding legitimate rights and interests of employers and employees, creating harmonious labor relations in these 8 years. However, in the process of implementing the law, there are some complaints, mostly about 2 things. First, the flexibility, the lack of flexibility in the labor market. Second, the high labor costs. There are also other concerns, but these are 2 major concerns. With economic and social development in China, there are new forms of businesses emerging. In China, there are also new ways of recruitment and using labors. These are something quite new, and they were not there when we made the labor contract law. My ministry is the competent authority in the exercising of the law. We will give a heed to the extensive public opinions on the law, including what you mentioned about the amendment of the law. We will carry out intensive study of the matter, and we will give our advice in due course.
My question is for Vice Minister Yu. In 2016, different parts of the country worked to unify the medical insurance for urban and rural residents. Could you please talk about this unification? Thank you. For rural residents and non-working urban residents, we have established respective medical insurance schemes. The 2 schemes play an important role in ensuring medical rights of urban residents and non-working urban residents. Now, the 3 medical schemes in China have covered over 1.3 billion people, almost all people in China. With demographic changes and mobility of people, the 2 schemes for rural residents and non-working urban residents are yet to be reunified, and that leads to disparity of resources between the 2. Therefore, last year, the State Council issued a specific document on the unification, which is to be done this year. It will adjust the coverage, the items to be covered by the scheme, and so on. They will be unified between urban and rural areas. Actually, before the release of the State Council documents, different parts of the country have already done some exploratory work, like Tianjin, Zhejiang, and other provinces and cities. According to their work, the results are pretty good. Residents can enjoy fairer benefits of medical insurance. So at the central level, after the release of the State Council's documents, we convened a conference on this matter. We distributed some guidelines, and we have done some supervision of the implementation. We hope that in June we will bring this matter to actual work officially, and at the end of this year we will complete the unification.
谢谢主持人。尹部长好，我是健康报的记者。我有个问题，就是最近呢，我们也听到了一个信息，说很多省的医保资金都出现了就是收不抵支的这种穿底的现象。然后，因为之前也有媒体放出信息说可能会对退休人员实施缴纳医保的制度。我们想知道这项工作会不会提上日程？还有就是根据这个材料里面提到了说，下一步要着手研究探索长期护理保险制度。
And next, we are exploring the possibility of long-term care scheme. Do you have any specific plan for that?
You actually asked the 3 questions. I will answer the first one, and I will leave the next 2 ones to Vice Minister You.
因为对这个养老保险基金缺口的问题啊，
As for the shortage in the old age insurance fund, the society follows that very closely, and some scholars and experts have aired different opinions on this. I think it is necessary for us to make it clear. So I will answer the gap about the insurance fund. And for the other 2 questions, I will leave them to Vice Minister You. With regards to the I'm asking the medical care insurance. Well, the medical care insurance is operating on a smooth footing because it is a pay-as-you-go system. Unlike old age fund, who has some storage, the Medicare fund has no money contributed from the past. There is no pull for the Medicare fund, but it is still at a low level, only at the city and municipal level, the prefecture level. So there are some gaps in some region. And there are multiple reasons for that. For example, in some parts of China, the population mix is different. For example, in some regions, the retirees take up a large portion. For example, in some old industrial bases. And also, the premiums vary from different locations. And in some places, there is the phenomena of over-treatment for some diseases. I will answer the second and third questions. We have taken note that recently the society pays a lot of attention to the contributions to the Medicare system. I believe that such discussions will help the general public understand better about this system, and this will help us to pool wisdom to further improve the social security system. As you may know, the current Medicare system for employees and the relevant policies for retirees has their own background. For state-owned companies under the planned economy, we have the old system with no accumulated money. So it is a heavy duty for the SOEs to send out the Medicare benefits, and no one needs to pay into that pool. And the current system has been in place for 20 years. It is on the whole efficient in safeguarding the interests of company employees, and we are capable of further improving it. But it is always better to make preparations for possible risks. So we need to make plans, make forward-looking plans. For example, to deal with the aging society. In China, we see an accelerated pace in aging, and this will put a lot of pressure on the Medicare system in the long run. As you have mentioned, in some regions there are deficits, and as Minister Yin mentioned, that deficit occurred in regions with a high dependency ratio. The number of retirees are 4 times more than the current employees. Therefore, they take up a large amount of money. And the reason for us to put in place the Medicare system is to take better care of the senior citizens. But the current system is a pay-as-you-go, and we will collect money from the society, and people will share responsibilities, share the burden. But how to make sure that we have enough money to pay the price for the people? We must set up a system where the responsibilities will meet with the benefits you will get. This is something we have to do. If we let the current employees to shoulder all the pressure coming from the aging society, this is unfair and this is unsustainable. This will not help with the economic and social development. That is one challenge we face going forward. This is about sustainability and fairness. This is the dilemma we face. How to address it? We have 2 paths. First, increase revenue, and second, to reduce expenditure. So we need to deepen the reform in the Medicare sector so that we can control the overall expenditure of those medical treatments. We can make better use of the money we have. And we also need to take a look at how to ensure the long-term balanced development of the Medicare system so as to provide sustainable and better service to the participants. And this policy concerns the immediate interests of the general public. So when we work on that, we will solicit opinions from the general public. We'll have a full study, thorough study on this and come up with the final decision. I want to mention in particular that the approach of reform may vary, but one thing is certain: the reform will ensure better protection for the interests of the participants. Reform will bring more tangible benefits to the people because the goal of our work is to increase the well-being of the people. This is for the second question. And going to the next one.
As for the long-term care scheme, it is a matter raised in the context of the old age insurance in China. About 40 million old age people
增长的这么一个趋
have
势。
fully or partially
那人
lose
口
their
老龄化带来
abilities,
这些
and
失
the
能
number
人员
is on the
增加呢
rise.
它必然
Aging
给家庭
population is
给个人
accompanied
给
by
社
the
会
increase
都
of
带来一
numbers
些
of
巨大的一个
senior
风险。
citizens in this
所以呢
regard, and
我
that
们部
will
里已经
bring
按照中央
great
的
risks
人
and
权问题
burdens
的
to
决
the
定，
affected
已经专门
families. So my
组织了
ministry,
这一个
in
专门
accordance
研
with
究
the
这个长期护
instructions
理保
of
险的一
the
个领导小组，
central government,
并且我
has
们的地方呢，
established a
你像这个
special working
山东的
group
青岛、
on this matter
上
at the
海、
local level
吉林
in
的长春
Qingdao,
都有一些试
Shanghai,
点，
and
想
Changchun
把它
of
们
Jilin
作为一个国
province.
家的
There
试点，
are
来积
pilot
极地开展和
programs,
探索，
and
然后
through
实
these
施
programs,
出来一
we
些
will
政策。
explore more good practices and introduce good policies
3排
along the line.
3排对。
感谢主持人。我是中央人民广播电台的记者。我的问题是关于养老金
China
的。
People's
就
Radio.
是最近有
My
媒体报
question
道
is about
说，
pension.
我国的养老金是存
There
在
are
一部分
media
的缺口，
reports
而
about
且是部
huge
分地区也出现
pension
了这个养老金
shortage
发放
in
困难
China
的
and
问题。
difficulties
我
in
想请问
granting
这个养老金的
pensions
缺
in
口
some
到底
parts
有
of
多么
China.
大？
May I
然后我们
ask
该如
how
何
big
看
the
待这样的一
shortfall
个情
is
况？
and
谢谢。
what should be done to address this issue?
养老保险基金缺口问题啊，社会广泛关注。
The whole society is following this matter closely,
首先
and
呢，
there have been
从全国
a
的
great
这个
amount of
目前
discussions.
的情况看，这个养老
If
保
we
险
look
基
at
金
the
的运行
situation
啊是平稳的。
nationwide, pension system is functioning
去年
well with no
养老保
shortfall.
险基金的总
Last
收入
year, the total
是
revenue of
2.7
old
万亿，
age insurance
总支出
fund
呢
amounted to
是
2.7 trillion
2.3万
yuan. The total
当期
expenditure
的
was
结余是
2.3
3000多亿。
trillion yuan, with a current
累计结余
balance
是
of
34000
over 300 billion yuan
所以
and
这
a
个数据
total
就
of
说明
3.4
从全国
trillion
的情
yuan
况来看，
of
这个
accumulative
养老保险
balance.
基金不存在缺口。
Nationwide, there is
这个
no
从全国来讲，
pension shortage.
这个我们的支付能力，这个能够达到
And
17个
the
亿。
current balance can cover the benefits
第二
of
一个
more than
从
17 months.
分省的情况来看，
Second, at the
确实不平衡。
provincial level,
各
there
省
are
之间
disparities
差异比较大。
between different
我们现在
parts
养老保
of
险
the
是省级
country.
统筹，
Now, the pension scheme is
那么各省
coordinated
呢，
by provincial
由于
governments
多方面的
primarily
因素，
due to
主要还是
different factors,
这个人口的这种结构性的这
primarily
种
the structural
所以造成的一
demographic
些差距。
problem. There
有
are
的省
gap between
能够
different
发放
provinces.
40到
In
50
some
个月。
in
这个
some
有的省
provinces, the balance can cover the
这个保发
benefits
放
of
可能就是
40 to
1两个月。
50 months, while
那么去
only
年的统
about
计
1
数
month
据
in some provinces.
有7个省
According to
当期
statistics
的
last year,
收入
7 provinces
不能够这
failed
个支持
to
当期的
make their ends
支出，
meet
也就是说收支
given
是但我
last
指的
year's
是当
revenues
期
and expenditure
但是
alone.
这7个省呢都有累计结余，
But these 7 provinces all have
就像我
a
们小家
cumulative
过日子，
balance,
你
just
这个
like
月收
the
入
life of
1000块钱，
an average family.
可能你花了1100块
You
钱，
may earn 1,000 yuan per month, and you spend 1,100 yuan that month. But you don't have to
是吧？完全不
borrow
能
money
支付
from others because you have your
所以
deposits
现在这7
to
个省动用
pay
历年
your
结余
expenditure.
也不存在硬缺口。
Likewise, the 7
第三一个方面就是
provinces can make use of
长远
their
来看，
available
我们对这个问
resources
题
to pay
确
the
实需要
pensions.
关注。
But in the
要未雨
mid and
绸缪。
long term, we have to take
主要的就是
precautions
人口老
to address the potential shortfall
这需要我们
because there is
增
great
强基
challenge
金的这
from the aging
这个持续
population
发展的能力。关于这方面的措
that
施，
puts strain on
我刚才前面已经
sustainability
讲
of the old age
我们大概
insurance.
有7、8
As I
条
mentioned
最多的措
earlier,
施
we have already
核
had
心都围绕
7
着
to 8 measures in
可
place
养老
to
保险基
address
金
this
可持
matter.
续这个发展的问题。
All
所以
of
我
them
讲
are
到我们养老
designed
保险
to
这个改
ensure
革一个
sustainability
基本的
of the
方向。
pension
第一
scheme.
是公平性，第二是可持
The
续。
overall trend is to make the scheme
所以对这个问
fairer
题，我觉
and
得
more
可以
sustainable.
让这个社会各界啊，这个放心。通过我们的改革，
You may
通
feel
过我们对这个
reassured
将来采取一系列的
that
这种
through
措施
our reform and
确保
future
养老
measures,
保险待遇
we
的
will
发放，
work to
这个是没
ensure
有问题。
granting of the pensions. There will be no problem in this regard. Thank you. In the interest of time, last question, please.
4排这位边上那位女士，对，
谢谢，我是北京电视台的记者。我的问题是
Beijing
有关于
TV
有观点认为养老保险
There
多
are
缴
some
多得激
opinions
励不明显，
that
以及
the
养老金倒
incentives
挂的
for
现象
old
成为
age
当前的一些
insurance that the
养老
more
保险
and
中
longer you
断
pay, the
缴
more
费
you
现象的
get.
原因之一。
The
请问您对
results
此
are
观
not
点如何看待
obvious.
那么多缴长缴是否能够多得？
Do you think the longer and the more you pay, the more you will get in the future?
制度我们在设计的时候，
As we designed the
一个
old
基本
age
的原则
insurance scheme, a
就是
basic principle
多缴
we
多得
followed
长缴多得。
is the longer and the more you pay,
我
the
们
more
实行
you
的是
get.
社会统筹和个人账户
We
相结合的
combined
这
the
种
social
制度
pool
模式。
and personal
从这么
accounts.
多年的实践来看，
From what happened in the
总
past
体上
years,
运行是好的。
the scheme functions
也
well
就是说，
on
我
the
们在
whole.
统筹这一块儿，它更注重的是这种
In other words, we pay more
更注
attention
重的
to
是它要
fairness
体现二次分配的这种职能。
and the
但是在个人
functions
账
of
户这一
the
块儿，
secondary income
更多的
distribution
是吧？是实行的
while we
这种
grant
完全的
pensions.
积累，完全的积累。
In terms of personal accounts, we
你交
place
得
more
多，
importance
对吧？你
on
将来就要
accumulation. It means
那
the
么通
more
过
you
这么多
pay,
年的这个
the more
制
you
度的
will
发展，
get in the future.
我们也在不断的这个进行
After
完
years
善。
of
实际上，
development,
刚才我
we
已经
keep
在前面
improving
已经讲到
the
了，
scheme.
我们有一个
As I
完善
mentioned
个人账户
earlier,
的一个
we
考虑，
have
其中最
considerations
主
to
要的
improve
就是要
personal
体现
accounts
激励、约束
to
两个方面的
highlight
这
the
种
incentives
作用。
for paying
这个方面
pensions.
呢，应该说这个有一些这个具体的措施，
We
我们
have
会陆续地推
specific
出。
measures
谢谢。
to be rolled
这些
out.
发布会到此结束。